皆さんおはようございます。Thank you for joining me today. This is the Japanese Easy News article of the day for March 2nd, 2026. 2026年3月2日の今日の記事でございます。For our headline today, we have イランやイスラエルにいる日本人が国の外に出るのを助ける。Okay, so here is our vocabulary from the article. We have 日本人or 日本人, which is a Japanese person, 国, which is a country, 外, outside, 出る, which is to leave or to get out, and 助ける, which is to help or to assist. Okay, and here is our grammar point from the day, which we do find in our headline. So we have no when something is attached in front of it. When we have an adjective or a verb in front of no, this is how we turn something into a noun when necessary for grammar purposes. For example, if you want to verb another verb, you can't do that in Japanese, so you have to verb a noun. So in that case, we would take the verb, turn it into a noun, then we can do our verb action to that noun. So for our first example, we have 雨が止むのを待っています. We have 雨が止む, which is for the rain to stop with that particle ga. That's the thing it's doing. 雨, rain, が止む, stop. No. So in order to say we're waiting for the rain to stop, you can't wait on an action stop. So you turn it into a noun with no. So 雨が止むのを待っています. I am waiting. That's matsu in the teiru or teimasu form. Currently doing it. Waiting for the rain to stop. Now, another thing we can do is if we want to say we like something or we're good at something or bad at something or it's not our strong suit with a na adjective like nigate. Here we have nigate is kind of like your weakness or something you're not very good with. But we have an adjective that we're not very good with. You can't really adjective an adjective, so we have to turn that adjective into a noun. We will also do that with a no. So we can say 暑いのが苦手なんだよね. So 暑いのが the thing of being hot. が苦手. 苦手 is bad with or not good with something. And then this なんだ is kind of like our description of the situation that we're in. And this yone, it's kind of like a common colloquial, right? This is kind of the situation I'm in. Yeah. This yone is kind of like a yeah. You get me? You get where I'm coming from? So, 暑いのが苦手なんだよね. I'm not very good with hot places. Now, in context, this could mean something else. Instead of saying like a hot country or a hot climate, this could be a hot food or something. You take a sip of some coffee or tea and you say, it's hot. 暑いのが苦手なんだよね. But we do have to turn that e adjective 暑い into a noun using no there. And then we have another example of taking a verb with no and then applying a na adjective to it. 上手. So 質問を交わすのが上手ね. So 質問 is a question. Kawasu is to dodge something. And then we have to turn that into a noun with no. So 質問交わすの thing of dodging questions. のが上手ね. 上手 is going to be our na adjective of good at or skilled at. And then we have a ne here. Now take note that this is a more feminine feeling sentence because we don't say 上手だね. If we have ne or yo directly after a na adjective, it sounds very, very feminine, so be careful with that. But here we have this feminine sounding sentence. So 質問を交わすのが上手ね. You're really good at dodging questions, aren't you? We get that aren't you from that ne there. Okay, so jumping back into our headline here. We have イランやイスラエルにいる日本人が国の外に出るのを助ける. So, Iran, which is Iran or Iran, depending on how you pronounce it. So, Iran やイスラエル. So, や is we are listing things here, but we're not limiting it to those two things. So Iran and Israel, which is Israel, and other places around there. Ni iru. So ni tells us the location where something is happening. Iru, existing as a living thing. And all of that is describing the type of Nipponjin that we have. So Iran ya Israel ni iru Nipponjin. Japanese people who are in Iran or Israel and places like that. Ga, so they're going to do an action or be something. Then we have kuni no soto. So kuni no soto. Kuni is a country. No, something of the country. Soto, outside of the country. Soto ni, this is something going to happen to this place. And then we have soto ni deru. So to leave. And that is the verb that our Nipponjin are going to be doing. So they are leaving. They are deru. So Nipponjin ga kuni no soto ni deru. Japanese people leaving the country or getting out of the country. No, we are turning this into a noun with no, just like in our grammar point of the day. And why are we doing this? So that we can use another verb, tasukeru, to assist or to help. And then we mark that with the particle o, since that is the thing we are helping. It is the object. So, Iran ya Israel ni iru Nipponjin, Japanese people who are in Iran, Israel, and surrounding areas, ga kuni no soto ni deru no, helping those Japanese people get out of the country. Okay, here's the vocabulary from the rest of our article. We have seifu, which is the government. Hayai, which is fast or early. Bai, this word can be used in several situations. It literally means like a situation or a case. A lot of times we'll have something connecting to it, so something by. So we can also say that like when or if something is the case in the situation or case that this is true. We'll have that other part before by. And we have jikan, which is time. Tonari, which is next to something or something that is next or neighboring. We have junbi, preparation or junbi suru, to prepare. Kanbouchoukan is the chief cabinet secretary. Anzen or anzenna, safety or safe. Mamoru, to protect. Kangaeru, to think or to consider. And shikkari, this is an adverb meaning firmly or steadfastly or properly, the way things should be done.
日本の政府はイランやイスラエルにいる日本人が国の外へ出るのを助けることにしています。イスラエルからは早い場合は日本の時間の今日、バスで隣の国に出ることができるように準備しています。イランにいる日本人は200人ぐらいです。政府は国の外に出たい人が何人いるかや、どうすれば安全に出ることができるか考えています。木原官房長官は、日本人の安全を守れるようにしっかりやりますと言っています。
Okay, let's jump right into our article here.
日本の政府はイランやイスラエルにいる日本人が国の外へ出るのを助けることにしています。
Okay, so we have Nippon no. So Nippon or Nihon is going to be Japan. No, something from or of Japan. Seifu, going to be the government. So Nippon no seifu, the Japanese government. は it's our main idea here. 日本の政府はイランやイスラエル So just like in our headline, we have イランやイスラエル Iran, Israel, and other places around there にいる日本人 So same as in our headline, 日本人 So Japanese people who are in Iran or Israel, etc. が国の外へ出るの So same thing as in our headline. If you need to review that, go back and see that. But basically, no. So we are turning our action here of 国の外へ出るの into a noun. So of leaving the country, going outside of the country. を助ける So to assist. And this connects back to our 日本の政府は So the Japanese government is assisting Japanese people who are in Iran, Israel, etc. to leave the country, helping them get out of the country. And then we have ことにしています So ことにする This is a grammar when you're making it a point to do something or you've decided you're going to do it and you're working on it. So 助けることにしています The Japanese government is working on, or they are striving to make this happen. They're helping Japanese people who are in Iran or Israel get out of the country.
イスラエルからは早い場合は日本の時間の今日バスで隣の国に出ることができるように準備しています。
Okay, so now we have イスラエルからは So イスラエル Israel から from Israel and then から is one of these particles that we can kind of throw another particle like wa onto. Wa can come right after kara, and that limits our scope of what we're talking about. So as far as from Israel goes, previously we were talking about Iran and Israel and other places. Now we're limiting our conversation to just from Israel. So in relation to coming from Israel, or the Japanese people trying to leave from Israel, 早い場合は So 早い is early. And then 場合 we can use for various different things. This can be like cases or when. We're talking about a specific type of situation here. So 早い場合 would kind of be like at the earliest, in the early situation, or in the case of being early. So at the earliest, and then we have another particle wa, reframing it. So as far as the earliest cases, 日本の時間の So 日本 Japan の時間 time from Japan, or in Japan time の2日 or 今日 today. So second, or the second in Japan time, or today Japan time バスで by bus. De is telling us by means of, and then bus, 隣の国 So 隣の国 would be the next door neighbor, or 隣 the next country over. 隣の国に出る So 出る once again is to leave. So to leave to the next country over. And then we have ことができる after a verb. We can use this to say make it or to be possible to do this verb. And then we also have ように and then another verb. So 準備しています is our final verb here. And 準備する is to prepare. That's in the ているています form here, which means they are currently doing it. So 準備しています They are making preparations. And then ように is so that. And this ことができるように with another verb after it is another very common grammar you'll see. You're doing this action so that this other action happens. So, 隣の国に出ることができるように準備しています They are making preparations so that these Japanese people from Israel can leave to the next country over, the neighboring country, by bus on the second Japan time at the earliest.
イランにいる日本人は 200人ぐらいです。
Okay, a nice and simple sentence here. イランにいる日本人. So 日本人, Japanese people. And we are describing what kind of 日本人 here. イランにいる日本人. So Japanese people who are in Iran は200人ぐらいです. So 200人 would be 200 people, our counter for people 人. And ぐらい is around. So the number of Japanese people who are in Iran are 200, around 200 people, or is around 200 people. And our des is our is, right?
政府は国の外に出たい人が何人いるかや、どうすれば安全に出ることができるか考えています。
Okay, so 政府は the government, that's our main topic here with は政府は国の外に出たい So 国の外に出たい would be, this is 出る once again in the Thai form, which means want to. So, and then that is all describing our hito here. So hito, and what kind of person or hito are we talking about? People who want to leave outside the country or get outside of the country. が何人 So this is our question word 何 or 何 connected to our counter 人. So how many people? いる exist. How many people exist? And then we have か which tells us this is an embedded question. So we're going to have something else connected to this question. So 国の外に出たい人が何人いるか How many people want to leave the country? いや So that's one of our things here. So number one is right here. How many people want to leave the country? And then どうすれば What must be done in order for. So どうすれば literally comes from どうする to do something in what way. And then this is an if you do it what way. But we have どうすれば and then something after it. It's like what must be done in order for the thing after it to happen. So what must be done in order to 安全に So 安全 is safe. 安全に be safely. It's a na adjective. So when we throw that no or that ni after a na adjective, that makes it into an adverb. So 安全 would be safe or safety. And then 安全に turns into safely. So we'll have a verb after that. 安全に出る So to leave safely. 安全に出ることができる Once again, is ことができる possible to. So what must be done in order for it to be possible for them to safely leave? か Another embedded question. This is our second embedded question here. And that ya tells us once again that these are two questions in mind, but there are other questions that we are also thinking about. And then 考えています So this is our main verb of this sentence. 考える In the ている or ています form, which means we are currently doing it. So, and that connects back to our 政府 So the government is considering or thinking with 考える They are thinking about how many people want to get out of these countries and what must be done so that they can safely leave these countries. Those are the two things they are thinking about or considering.
木原官房長官は、日本人の安全を守れるようにしっかりやりますと言っています。
Okay, good. And we have 木原官房長官 Now I'm forgetting the title. Let me double check again. はい、Chief Cabinet Secretary. And the name is 木原 So, Chief Cabinet Secretary 木原官房長官は main idea here. Then we have a quote, which is 日本人の安全 So, 日本人 Japanese people. No something of them. 安全 the safety of Japanese people. 日本人の安全を something is going to be done to this safety. 守れる So 守る is to protect. This is in the potential form. In addition to ことができる, we can also change this into the potential form to say able to do this. And then we have a ように again. So something is happening so that this happens. And then しっかりやります. So we have しっかり, kind of like an adverb. And how something is done. しっかり is thoroughly, the way it should be done properly. And then やります. This is very similar to する, but it implies more effort. When you're doing something and putting lots of effort into it, you would use やる rather than する. If you just said しっかりします, it sounds a little weak, like, yeah, we'll do what we can, sure, But しっかりやります means you have a lot more, I guess, vigor or desire to get that done. And here, particularly with しっかり, we normally see やる rather than する. So, and we are doing things properly or thoroughly so that, with that ように, the safety of Japanese people can be protected, or so that we can protect the safety of Japanese people. And then that's the end of our quote. と言っています. So this is you, verb you, in the ている or ています form. So, Kihara Chief Cabinet Secretary Kihara官房長官は is saying something, and what is he saying? 日本人の安全を守れるようにしっかりやります. We will do things properly or thoroughly so that the safety of Japanese people can be protected. So, yes, with all that's going on, and since this article's been out, it's been almost probably maybe 12 or more hours, and things are still going on in that area. So hopefully the Japanese people who are trying to get out can safely get out, and hopefully things settle down as quickly as possible over there. That is it for our article today. Thank you for being here. If you have any Japanese questions related to the article or not, feel free to leave them down in the comments. And I will plan on seeing you later this week. Mata ne!